Hello and welcome to North Star Stamper. I'm Sue Kremer. Let's see how things are going here. Oh, I think I need to move that down a little bit. I don't do YouTube lives near as much as I do Facebook lives, so things are a little different. Different camera, different setup, same table. Well, so let me know how the sound is. I think the picture's okay. I have my tablet here to see comments, but I honestly don't see comments on there yet. So I want to make sure people can hear me before I get started. I think there's a few of you. Can somebody let me know how my sound is? I'm going to get started then. All right. These are all the places you can find me online. I am working on a new blog, so I have not been putting things on me. These are my stamps. So if you're looking for new stuff, it's not there. My website is where you can order from me, and today Stampin' Up! Is offering free shipping on orders of $50 or more. And just when you don't have to do anything special as far as I know. Just when you submit an order over $50, Stampin' Up! Is midnight Mountain Time, which is almost 1 a.m. Central Time here, or 2 a.m. Eastern Time, depending on where you are. Thank you for joining me. All right, let's get started. So today we are using products from the Love You Always. We're just using some of this designer series paper. The Rococo Rose and the Blushing Bride are some of the pieces I'm using. Oh, I should mention that I sent card kits to several of you. So if you ordered from me or if you're on my team, and I sent one to my mom and then my mom paid me. So thank you for sending me that money, Mom. But I decided I can send kits to anybody I want to send them to. So I did. Anyway, so that I cannot send stamped images in the mail, because of copyright laws. So you have lots and lots of die cuts. So mostly from the Peony dies. I sent 2 dies, and if you saw my preview for my video, you'll see the cards we're going to make tonight. So these 4 dies plus this middle one make a peony, and we'll show you how to do that. That's going to be the hardest part. So trim, and then I did send you some leaf dies as well. So we'll talk about that. Some of the other dies that are in the kit are from Forever Flourishing. But I could only send dies. Again, I couldn't stamp images and die cut them, so I used these 2 larger ones. And then the rectangle, there's Very Vanilla and Blushing Bride rectangles that I used from the Stitched Sweetly die set. And they just make a nice dainty. So if you saw my preview on Facebook, I was inspired by another card that was black and vanilla. And then I saw St. Michael's craft store had a display of spring things that were very much like Blushing Bride and Very Vanilla. So that's where I got my card idea from today. So your kit should contain, and if you are missing anything, please let me know. Oh, thank you for letting me know the sound is good there. If your kit is missing anything, please let me know, especially in the next couple days while I still have all my dies out, and I'll get that in the mail to you as soon as I know about it. So you have 2 Blushing Bride card bases, and I did fold them, and then after I folded them, I found large envelopes so I can send you pieces of cardstock or designer series paper that are full the size, 5.5 by 8.5, and we just folded those in half. So those are going to be our card base. The designer series paper, 1 in Blushing Bride and 1 in Rococo Rose. I think yours is 5.5 inches long, inches wide, and I didn't have a piece, so mine card will be a little different than yours. And I'll probably keep reminding you that this is your card. If you don't like the way I'm doing something, feel free to do whatever you like. If you like it a different orientation, if you want to separate all these pieces and make 3 or 4 or more cards, it's entirely up to you. So I just love to share things. So these are the pretty designer series paper, and it was a 12 by 12. And there is a 3rd color that is Sahara Sand. I can show you that real quick. Want to see? Oh, we've got a few people watching. That's good. So that one's just leaves. That'll be fun to play with. I haven't used that piece. those pieces yet. So now why I am seeing comments on my computer, but not on my, let's go back here. No, I don't want to share. Sorry. I want to see comments on my tablet like I do on my Facebook lives. So you should have 2 pieces, not 3. So a pale pink and a darker pink. You should have 3 of these rectangles. So a larger ivory, I like calling it ivory instead of very vanilla, a small very vanilla, and then a medium blushing bride. And then you should have 2 sets. So I guess I suggest you do lay these out. You should have 2 sets of peony dies. So the largest one that looks like the peony base, and then I'm going to move these over. So you should have 2 of the large, 2 of those, each card. And then I believe you have 3 sets of leaf pieces. And we'll play with those. I don't know if you've looked at yours. I'm curious. Did you look at your? And so we are going to adhere these tiny little pieces on there. And then these are the center of our flowers. And I have some ideas. I can show you what I did with those. And then I believe, I'm missing a piece. I believe I gave you a large pink, a large metallic foil, 1 or 2 of these pieces, and then a punched foil piece, metallic. And I didn't necessarily make all of them match the metallic. So you might have a rose gold, you may have a yellow gold, you may have a brushed gold. You should have a square vellum doily and a piece of Rococo Rose cardstock that I did die cut for you. That'd be a pretty delicate edge. So, hello everybody. Let me know if at least one of you is creating with me tonight. I think maybe 2 of you. And if not, I'm going to try to go slow enough that you can follow along. Or if you're obviously watching the replay, you can just pause the video and get caught up and go from there. All right, let me get all this other stuff out of the way. By the way, all those dies were in the annual catalog. So I have a list here of all the pieces that are supposed to be in your kits. So if you let me know what you're missing, I can make a note real quick and get that in the mail to you shortly. All right, let's start with the peony. So if you start with 1 of each of the 4, so I would start with the largest, and you see there's a cut there. Let me move this out of the way. I like to have, all right. So then you take the second one, is a front and a back, but I don't know if it really matters. It is sharper on the edge, and so it's kind of a softer edge on the front. Then you just put this, the second size, into the largest one. And then if you'll notice, let's see if I can, these shapes are very similar on the bottom. The shape there matches up with the shape here. And so we're just going to line point here. Let me take your, I can point instead of using my finger. So there's a point here, a rounded curve here, and a rounded curve here. So that's what you're going to line up. And so it'll, it looks like that. So you line up on the bottom, and then the top just kind of flows into place. So I'm going to put my finger under that one. And so you can put my finger right through there, and then I know where the third piece goes. And again, I'm going to put it inside the cut, and then put it, oh, don't get it caught there on the top. So put it in flat, and then push it down so it lines up on the bottom. Here, let me line it up, and then I'll use the take your pick tool to show you what I'm talking about. So these shapes, so again, this point, this curve, and this curve are on all 3 of those die cuts. And so now that's what our peony looks like. And I'm going to put my finger in there again, and you can see, maybe I'll take your pick tool. So you can see there's a hole there that this last piece, second to the last piece goes in. I forget, we had the middle of the flower. I think is it called this? I'm going to tear it. And then line up this last piece. Where'd it go? So I'm going to hold it from the front here and line it up. This one doesn't have all those bumps because it is smaller. It's not so wide. So I'm just going to put, there's a middle, let me pull this one out. Just push it down so you can kind of hide it in there. So there's our peony there. How's everybody doing? I wish we were on Zoom so I could hear you and you could ask questions. I'm trying to watch my video or my comments. So that's basically how you put the flower together. And obviously you're going to have to do it twice. And from here, I would take my liquid glue and just squirt a little bit of glue in between those layers and hold it for just a second and then set it aside while I do the second one. So I do have some finished flowers to show you. And I have this one. I don't know what colors you have or if you have any. So this is one idea, one option you have. And I used the blending brush. And I believe I used Blushing Bride. I have Rococo Rose to do a sample today. And I just colored the bottom of each one. So and then I looked online. I like to Google or search for Peony in this case. And then I click images and it gave me all kinds of images. And most of them did have yellow centers. I'm pretty sure it's called a stamen. Any scientists out there, feel free to correct me. I'll take this apart so you can see. That's what I have my finished product looking like. And I'll show you how I use the blending brush on these. You could sponge it. You could use whatever you have. Your finger would add a lot of ink, but you could use like a tissue and just dab some ink onto your dies. So this is what I did, thinking it was going to be really dark. But you saw what the finished one. Rococo Rose products. I believe the cardstock right now is unavailable. So I'm going to tap on my ink. You can see I used this on Monday for my coloring some ribbon. And I'm just going to blend some color. And I can go further up on my flower for this one. So there's one. And I'm going to do that to all 4 pieces on the front. Again, the back side kind of had a lip, an edge on it. There's 2. I'm going to go way to the top on that piece. I'm missing a piece. 1, 2, 3, 4. There they are. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know how they came up with this die set, but it's very fun to kind of puzzle. So this is going to be one of my flowers. My other idea was to add some of our gold foil. Is that what it's called? Correct me if I'm wrong. And for this one, while the pieces were separate like this, I thought I wanted it to be. I just wanted it on the edge. So I might try it again. I don't know. But that's another idea. So you could sponge, you could ink. I think it looks lovely just in the plain vanilla. Show you one of the cards. So this is one of my samples. Make sure I'm on camera. Sorry. And I did use my bone folder to curve up these edges of the flower, like right here. I don't know if you can see. Maybe at that angle, you can see that these 2 edges are curved up. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to adhere my flower to curve out. So I'm just going to use you could use a pen. Here I've got a tool, a paper piercer. And you could just bend the edges. Oh, sorry. My camera is a little different here on YouTube than it is on Facebook. So just bend those edges to give your peony a little more dimension. And then we are going to adhere this flat on the card because I think with all these layers, I don't want my card to get too poofy. I want to keep it as flat as possible, even with all these layers. We have a 1/4 inch. I'm just going to curl these a little bit. A 1/4 inch, and you can use regular first-class postage here in the U.S. So, just like cards have to be. Let's see this at the top. It's very often, and then I didn't color this. Let's get this back. We're going to color this center. All right. So if you're creating along with me, you can go ahead and put together your 2 peonies. Oops, let's get my paper back. So I don't know if you want to watch me do it once. I mentioned that you would just put, I want to make that really dark so we see it. Okay. Get the ink out of the way so I don't get ink everywhere. Okay, so I'm going to put this flower together. Start with the biggest one. And then the second one, I put my finger in there very gently so I don't tear it. If you tear it, it's not a big deal. You could always just adhere it back together. Oh, I have 2 of them that I've inked. Oh, these are different colors. Wait. I think we're good. This is my darker one. That's the lighter one. All right, I got confused. All right, sorry if I'm going off camera. All right, so there's the first one and the second one. I'm going to take my third one and put it right in that hole and make sure it goes in there flat. I'm going to find where my finger goes and I line them up a little bit as I go. The fourth one goes right in the middle there. I did have to watch somebody else put this together. I don't know how we were supposed to know. And I don't know if the first person that got it just talked to the designer. So I am going to line these up a little better on the bottom. Oh dear. Oh dear. So I'm looking at that point and then those 3 mounds. I pointed those out at the beginning. Oh, isn't that pretty? And then I'm going to leave that for last. So I'm going to show you how I put it together. So I'm going to hold it right where I want it. So that's what that's what the peony is going to look like. I'm going to turn it over and I have brand new glue. Oh, it come up. Sorry, I didn't on what you needed to put this together. So just any glue, liquid glue, yours would work. Oh, I got some on the front there. So I'm going to use this last piece, clean it up a little bit. Good thing I have lots of fingers, right? Let's put this. I'm going to put some glue just on this tip. Ooh, that's a lot, but that'll work. And then I'm going to find my, oh, isn't that pretty? And I got glue all over me. I'm not going to squish it because I don't want it to come out because it's starting to. I'm just going to set that aside and do my second one. Actually, my second one is already done. I think I already, oh. So I just lined it up where I want it. I don't like that. I want it a little more 3D. So I have a bone folder here to, you know what, this one I think is glued. No, it isn't glued. Oh, sorry, I keep going off camera. My bad. All right. Good enough. And then put some adhesive. These layers are quite deep. So if you put more adhesive or glue than you really want, so I'm just going to leave it like that. And then after it dries, I'll glue the middle piece in. I'm going to put it up like this. I'll put together one more. So how are you doing? Are you putting together your peonies? So I'm going to put my finger there and put the next one inside. Might be easier if I line it up as I go. So I line these shapes up at the bottom and put that in. I think these might be different colors. That's all right. Flowers vary in their colors. All right, so I line my shapes up there. Third one goes in. Probably could have inked from the top instead of the bottom. I'm going to leave it just like that while I put glue on the inside. Oops. Let's see. I'm going to move it right where I want it. Turn it over. I moved again. And put some glue on the inside. All right. So, you know what? While we have the glue out, let's work on the leaves. So we'll get all our pieces together and then the cards will go together. So you have 3 leaves and then 3, I'll call them accent pieces. So 2 large and 1 small. So it's kind of easy to tell the small one from the large one. Well, the large 2, I should say. And this lines up. I can't pick it up because I don't want to break it. Just like that. You can see the shape of this accent piece. And so I think you kept a toothpick in your supplies, which was a great idea because they're disposable and you use it and you can pin a little adhesive on my Silhouette. You could use, oh, I don't even have my Stampin' blocks. I'm going to have to get one. You could use a block. Let me grab a block. Got both flowers done. Yes, all of the glue does get messy. And hopefully it's on the back of your flower or when you're done. You could also put glue on a block. My little leaf. So I'm going to make sure I know which way it goes. So it goes that way. So I'm going to turn it over and use my pin to just put a tiny bit of glue on here. Now I've been watching other demonstrators, and there's a demonstrator that says if you can see the glue, there's enough. So I will go by that. And I'm going to very gently turn this over and line this up as best I can. Sorry if my head gets in the way. And if you're off a little bit, I think that's okay. So there's the first leaf. Now the second and third, we have to get them. So if you hold the accent piece with the leaf, you can tell that that one fits nicely on that one. So this one must fit here. And so if it might be like a puzzle. You may have to turn your leaf over to get this piece to fit just right. And there's how that one goes. So I'm going to use my pen and just put a little. I think you saw the first one. I didn't watch the video to make sure you could see. So just put the little bit of glue. So I'm lining up that piece right there, and I got a little extra glue on there. All right, so there's the second one. We're going to set that aside. And the third one. This is kind of the putsy part. I think mostly because I can't send you stamped images, we had to create our focal point with our dies. So I'm holding the top there. Hopefully you can, well, and it goes just like that. Again, I've got some extra glue on there, so I'm just going to pick it up. And I'm going to let those dry. All right. So let's start with this card. This was my first inspiration. And I don't know if you, like I said, I put it on my preview for tonight. So I'm going to take a card base. You guys doing all right? Do I need to slow down, or am I going too slow? It took a while to get all that easy. So I'm going to take my one of the card bases and my square doily, and I'm just going to cut it in half. And it doesn't have to necessarily be straight because it is going to be hidden. But I don't think you really need to do that. And I'll show you why. I'm going to take the lighter piece of the foil, and you could use liquid glue. You could use double-sided tape using our seal, which is a tape runner. And I don't know if there's an up or down to this ESP. I don't think there is. And I am going to put it in the middle. You could put it top, bottom. Doesn't matter. And then so that I don't have to line these up, I'm going to put a little bit of runner on each, just on the edge of that DSP. So I put tape runner here and tape runner here. And then I'm just going to line this corner up with this corner. And that little bit of tape runner is going to hold it down. So here again, this corner with the bottom left corner. All right. And then just the layers like I have on this card. So the large vanilla. And again, I'm keeping these as flat as possible because there's a lot of dimension on that flower. So just more tape runner, glue, double-sided tape, whatever you have. So there's the vanilla. And then the large Blushing Bride rectangle. Again, these rectangles came from the Stitch So Sweetly, and I don't use those enough. And I am going to center this. It looks like it's a 1/4 inch. So there's that. Now comes the fun part. You get to decide how much of this foliage you want on here. And I thought the pink was just so dainty. So what I think I tried to give you one large and one small, and whether it's pink and gold or gold and pink, I'm pretty sure I gave you some of the middle. So I didn't try to clean up all the dies. It took me quite a while. You can use that pin again, or a paper piercer. I'm using my take your pick tool to take those pieces out. These dies are pretty fun to play with, and lots of options, lots of ideas. I just use plain cardstock. You could use designer series paper. You could use the foil. I think we'll do this because I think that's similar to what one of you may have. So the large pink, and you can decide where you want it. And we're going to use this flower on this one. So the flower I am going to put right in the middle so you can kind of gauge where these pieces are going to go. So you can put adhesive behind the flower, but then I would suggest you use glue dots for the ends, or you could use mini dimensionals. Now, a couple of you, I didn't know if you had dimensionals or not, so a couple of you, I think one or two of you, I did send a handful of dimensionals to you. So let's see. I'm going to put some adhesive right in the middle of my rectangle. So this card is not going to have a sentiment on it. And I'm just going to lay this, and I don't want it to go past the corner there. My take your pick tool. Again, you could just use a pin or a needle or a paper piercer. And I'm going to put a few glue dots behind these outermost leaves. Just like that. So I pick up a glue dot with my piercer, and then I think you could see I'm putting it behind there. So if I sent you glue dots, or if you're using glue dots that are on a release paper like this, sorry, trying to stay on camera and I can't really see what I'm doing. There we go. Get rid of that. So there I just have that glue dot. So you can pick up that glue dot and place it behind something. Set it down in there. That'll hold. Oops, nope. It's stuck to my tool. There we go. Oh, things are sticking to everything. All right. Let's do that again with this one. And for this one, anyone already started. There we go. Yep. So these leaves are big enough. I'm going to put a mini dimensional behind. I put one right there. And I might put one more. That leaf seems to be big enough. Oh, maybe one there too. So the mini dimensionals are small enough to go behind some of these larger leaves. I want to say these are ginkgo leaves, but I don't know. And again, I don't want this to go off the edge, so I'm just going to put it with my middle, the end of the stem right in the middle of the card, and then these just like that. All right. I believe I sent you a metallic leaf as well. And I think for this one, I'm going to put a glue dot. Where do I want it? I want it on this side. So I'm picking up a glue dot. You can see there's adhesive still wet on the back of my flower. So I'm going to put this leaf. I'm going to adhere it to the flower. Now I'm going to adhere my flower to my card. I'm just going to use glue because it's already a mess. I'm still learning the right amount of this glue to use. I've seen lots of demonstrators are using the liquid glue here. Oh, I didn't use these. If you have them, you could stick one under there. Maybe we will. I'm going to tear it apart. Put a little bit of glue on the end. Oh, can you see what I'm doing? And I'm going to slide this under. I'm going to pick up. I don't know if you can see. I think you can. Let me use your take your pick tool. That way my hand's not in here. I'm going to slide it right under there and push it down. So you can play around with all the leaves and pieces that I sent you, and I have an extra piece that I could put on there, but I think we'll be done with that. Oh, that one has the center in there. Like I said, I think it's called the stamen of the flower. So there's your first card. I think it's lovely. I thought it was beautiful. Okay, are we ready for a second card? Sorry, I haven't been watching. I know videos get too much on here. So here's our second card, but I have an alternate idea for you. This is just, I adhered the Rococo Rose first. I'll show you how I did it. But I'm going to do something different. So I adhered this first. Then I adhered the foil designer series paper. And then I would next stamp on your rectangle. There should be a little rectangle. And sadly, I need to make a sympathy card. So I'll be doing that. And I may have mentioned I used basic gray. Gray granite would be a nice choice too. I just thought black was so stark. Is my, and do you know if my, I was going to suggest, I don't stamps, so I was going to suggest that my dad does some calligraphy on there. I thought that would be nice too. Or if you have nice handwriting, you could write on there. You wouldn't even need to put it on there. So let's show you what the card looks like without the sentiment. So I believe your designer series paper is wider than mine. I think I cut yours at 2. I think this is 1.5 or something. So then you can put even just the flips, which are almost dry. That'd be pretty too. I do like the sentiment, but if you don't want to do that, I got it glue on there, but that's okay. Okay, so my alternate idea. Anne says she will bring Mom's stamps, so that's fun. All right. So my alternate. Oh, so I'm going to bring out my trimmer, which is also a scorer. So this is my trimming out of the way, and I want to score. It really doesn't matter. I'm going to go 1 3/4 inches, and I'm scoring. You could make your card just like this if you want to just adhere your pieces and be done. That's fine. If you want to wait just a few minutes and see what I'm doing. So I'm going to fold this back. So you could either make it a Z fold like this, but I don't, and like this, but I don't have a second large rectangle for you to do something like this. So this was my one idea. So this Rococo Rose piece is going to go on the back of this flap, kind of like I did on this one. So now I wish I had sent you a larger, but that's all right. So this could go on here. You know what? I think I will. I think I'm just going to put this on here, and then this here, and then put the flower there, and tuck that underneath. And then it will open like that, and then you have space to write there. So that's what I'm going to do with my card. You're welcome to do your card either way because it's your card. So if you have extra pieces, if you use less on that first card, you could put this behind there too. That would be pretty. But I'm not going to because I don't think you necessarily have those pieces. So I'm going to adhere my layers down now. So again, I scored at 1 3/4 and folded it back. So it was just a regular card. So you score at 1 3/4 and you fold that back. Now, I think I only have what I need on my table, but I'm going to use some tape runner. And which way do we want it to go? I think I want it to go this way. This isn't the full 5.5, but that's okay. I don't mind. And I'm going to put this right on the edge of that. I think I will use some wet glue. I really enjoy creating. This is so much fun. So thank you for supporting me. In those colors. In person, it's really bright. I mean, it's very bright. I've lost my tablet here. So I can't see comments, I think. All right. And then I am going to stamp on here. And I don't have, I think this is the only sympathy stamp I have that's current. The Happy Thoughts, I thought about that, but there isn't a Thinking of You would work. That would work. But I did want it to say with sympathy. One of the ladies at church died actually in February, but I just saw it in our bulletin this past weekend. So I'm going to pick that up. And I think I did for, no, we'll use Rococo Rose ink since, oh, excuse my reach, since that's what I have. So on this die cut, there are these stitched edges. So if you do stamp and don't light and have to turn it over, it's a little different in that, to me, obviously is the back, but if you have to, if you don't like your stamp or whatever you do on the front and you do have to turn it over, I don't think whoever receives the card will know that that's the back. So you can stamp on both sides is my point. I'm going to bring a scrap in and see how bulls aren't quite straight on my stamp. So it's off to the corner, just like I did on the ball. Oh, good. That worked. Get this out of the way. Oh, the other thing we could have done, maybe I'll do it with this piece. We could have just taken our pieces. See, the ideas just keep coming. You could take your piece. Oh, that was the yellow one, but that's right. Let's do the back side. You could just get ink on the... Anyway, more ideas, more ideas. Okay, let's pull our pieces together. So there's our flower, our rectangle with our sentiment, and our 3 leaves. And they are still kind of wet, but that works. You can see 2 of them I put underneath the flower. This one and this one are tucked underneath the flower. So if I know me, I adhered the flowers to the leaves to the flowers first, and then that one I just put on top. Let's see how we want to do this. I think I want this to stick off the edge because that makes it a little more interesting. And then the flower can go there, so I can adhere this first. I'm going to put adhesive on this flap of my card. And if I can see it, that's enough. Hold it down for just a second. Okay. You can see I have glue on that rectangle, so I want to make sure my flower covers that up. So let's put some leaves on the back of this flower. And see, the glue is still wet. I'm going to put the little one on this side because I don't have so much room on the side of the card. So this is where I want 1 leaf. That's probably going to be way too much glue. Yep. I'm going to hold that just for a second. My flower is going to go up there too. So just by holding it kind of near where I want it, I can see where I want glue. I'm going to put that one there. Put it down and see how we're doing. I think I need to look at it straight on me. So, okay. Put it straight a little more. I have 1 more leaf to add to my card. Oh, I did not send you envelopes because I didn't, with all these pieces, I didn't know if the envelope would get too thick and we would need extra postage. I used different colors on that, didn't I? This one's Blushing Bride and that's Rococo Rose, but that's right. I don't think they will notice. I think they will be happy to get a card. And I'm going to put some glue on both sides of this leaf and tuck it between my rectangle and my flower. How are you 2 doing that are stamping? So I'm going to tuck this between there. And I want to see it, but I don't want to go off the edge of the card. There we go. Looks good. Let me pull my other, excuse my reach, pull our other cards in. I think that's the one I made up with that there and there. Oh, and then this one, I didn't finish my original sample. Oh well. I have pieces. I can make that later. So what'd you think? I hope you had fun. Yours probably looks more like this because you probably don't have the inks to ink it. Maybe your next order. Thank you for joining me. Happy stamping. Let me see if you have any. And feel free to contact me if you are missing pieces, like I said, or if you didn't quite understand how I did something. We could Zoom and talk about some other options or whatever. I'm available a lot, so I'm home most days. So thank you for joining me. Anything else? I'm glad you had fun, Anne. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for joining me, Alma. And I don't know who else is left. I think it's just the three of us now. So thanks again. Take care, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye.